Well, I'm here with Mike Glaspie, and he is in to take your plant care questions, so feel free to call in, and we will answer them for you. But, Mike, I was just going to ask you, now is probably a good time to plant some types of plants, right?
Right. We're in the transition period from summer to winter, just like in the transition from winter to spring. It's coming into certain plant systems time of the year. For example, pansies, ornamental cabbage and kale, mums, snapdragons, dianthus. Those are the cooler times of the year plant systems that we begin to plant now. Also going out and coming into the winter months for winter weeds and things like this, now is the time, if you haven't already, to go ahead and apply a pre-emergent. Yes, you might have missed a few things, but the recent rains and the cooling off is what's going to trigger certain plant systems to want to try to grow now. Certain plant systems are going to want to try to go dormant. So we have this crossing effect of trying to get things ready and prepared to go through the winter, and then things coming into their season.
All right, Mike, well, we got some questions, so let's take a viewer's question. Hi, caller, you're on the air.
Yes, I would like to find out if it, I know not right today or tomorrow maybe, but after this weekend, is it too late to put on a pre-emergent fertilizer type thing on the lawn? Is it too late for that? And how long do you wait to put on another one? Thank you.
Okay, very good question. You mentioned the combination pre-emergent and fertilizer. You don't want to fertilize any lawns now that are going to be going dormant during the winter months. Bermuda grass, zoysia grass, things like that. They have been frosted and frozen enough that they're not going to have any absorption of the fertilizer, so that's not going to do you any good. If you have some St. Augustine in protected areas or fescue, yes, you can do that, because fescue is going to grow all during the winter months. So it depends on which kind of grass you have. Is there still time to apply the pre-emergent? Absolutely. Like I just said, you may have missed a few plant systems that's tried to come up a little bit prematurely, but we had some warm weather. As far as the reapplication rate goes, it depends on which product you use. There are time limits on certain ones. The average for most is about 60 to 90 days. So if we're in the middle of winter and we haven't really had a cold winter and it's particularly wet, you may have to make another application late January or February.
All right, Mike, well, let's take another question. Hi, caller, you're on the air.
Go ahead. Oh.
I think we lost him. Yeah, let's take another one. Hi, caller, you're on the air.
What do I need to do to prepare my rose bushes for winter?
Very good question also. If there are climbing roses, okay, you're going to need to wait and prune those after they bloom next season. Right now, if they're bush roses, meadowland roses, or carpet roses, you can go ahead and deadhead them down to maybe 1 or 2 leaf stations below that. Don't do too much trimming. If we have a warm winter, it's going to excite some growth, and somewhere in the between those transition periods, you're going to have some damage growth. You prune it back too far and we get some damage, then you're not going to have a lot of room left. So I would think that if from the bloom down to about 3 leaf stations below that, that would be good. If you have some older canes, take those all the way back to the crown, take those entirely off. Roses bloom best on 2-, 3-, and 4-year-old wood. If they're bush roses, if they're climbing roses, they bloom on 2-year-old wood. So don't do too much trimming on them, or you won't see much blooms next season.
All right, well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate you coming on.